Hello. Welcome back to another episode. So I figured this week we'd take a look at my 32X, or the SEGA 32X, or the SEGA Mega 32X, because I'm living in Europe, which is this boy, the mushroom-looking toilet seat on top of the Mega Drive and sellotape to the side of the Sega CD. God, this needs a clean. Yeah, this has been on a shelf for a while because when you have a Polymega, why would you use it? It's for shelf candy. It's strictly shelf candy. So, I've recently gone on a massive binge of playing just 32X games, like a whole day. Like maybe two, like 1 or 2 days spent just playing 32X games. And you know what? A good number of them aren't as shockingly terrible as you might believe. So yeah, we'll just kind of go through all the ones I've been playing on Polymega. Pretty much all of these work, which is really great. The fact that a lot of these do work is fantastic. Others just, a lot of other systems for the Polymega just don't work. A lot of games, rather. You know what the biggest one is? It's fucking Lilac Wars. Lilac Wars doesn't work on the Polymega, yet every 32X game does. Explain that, Playmagi. I know what you're on. I know what you're on about. But I think we'll just kind of go, not in release order, but just kind of in the order I played through them, my thoughts on them. We'll start with the repro crap, because pretty much all 4 of these are just way too expensive for what they are, and for me to give a shit about them. Such as T-Mech. So, I know T-Mech was developed by Atari, I believe. It was an arcade game where you kind of control a hover tank, very similar to, say, what was it called? I think it was just Hovercraft or Hover Strike on the Atari Jaguar. I played that for like an hour and I thought it was terrible. Same with T-Mech, actually. Dreadful game. Awful. I paid like 20 for each of these repros. I got like 4. It cost me like £100 to get them shipped over from Canada because there was no one in like Europe or anywhere doing them, which is fine. And to be fair, I thought they'd look like 32X games, but they really, really don't. But yeah, as a result, T-Mech, terrible. Don't play it. Well, similarly, Darkseid. You know how much this game is new or in the UK without it being, you know, just in the UK? It's £1,000. It's £1,000 for a game that is at best a not shit Asteroids clone. You know, look, that's all it really is. It's like 3D Asteroids, like from Atari, you know. Now I don't think Atari ever got around to doing like a 3D Asteroids. I know they were working on like Adventure, and they've done other weird shit recently like Pong Quest. But I'm gonna be honest with you, Darkseid would not be worth the money. It is not worth £1,000. It is at best worth maybe 50. But the game is so bloody rare and impossible to come by. Yeah, I don't hate its controls, however. What I hate is the kind of rudimentary time limit you have. Like, you can only shoot a set amount of stuff, and yeah, it's okay. It's middling at absolute best. That kind of sums up this library. Middling at best. Some real fucking standouts. Some real standouts. Others are so bad, I will never play them again. But we're not there yet, because we've got Colibri. The second to last repro I've got was a game that kind of wanted the 32X4 in the first place. So I wanted it for 2 games, which was Colibri and Knuckles Chaotix. I then found out down the line those are 2 of the most expensive on the system that aren't fucking Darkseid. So yeah, I figured, you know what? I want Knuckles Chaotix properly. I could probably live with a repro copy of Colibri, because it's literally Echo the Dolphin without the breath meter, and it plays really well. It plays really well. It's a fun little side-scrolling shooter. I played this a lot, actually. I think I played it for like not 2 hours, but I certainly played it for an hour and a half. Really fun. Really fun. Hard as... Well, I wouldn't even say it was hard. It's easy. Or at least the levels I played were easy. It may get brutal later, but yeah. It's just a cute little side-scrolling shooter where you play as a little hummingbird. And, yeah. I may get this properly. Because, whilst repros are nice, sometimes you kind of just want the main original thing. For example, Blackthorn. Now, I'm not big on cinematic platformers. Blackthorn is very similar to Another World, or Out of This World if you're in America. Out of This World 2, which I think was exclusive to America, but I don't think had anything to do with Eric Chahi. Blackthorn, on the other hand, I think has something to do with Eternal Champions on the Sega CD, which I don't have. I'm meaning to get it, because... Oh no, I have Eternal Champions. But I've got it on the Mega Drive. Yeah, I think it's got something to do with that series, if I remember correctly. It's kind of a side-scrolling cinematic platformer, so it's a lot slower than something like, say, Mario. It's more plodding, more climbing up slowly. You can take cover, which is quite weird. It's a cover-based shooter side-scrolling platformer. It's very weird. You have a shotgun and grenades that kind of home in on the enemy, and you kind of like take cover against the backdrop. I think it's just kind of like a temporary invincibility state, but the enemies do it as well, and it's about popping out cover and blasting them with a shotgun. I played this for like 2 hours. It's really good. It's really fantastic. I think unfortunately the game's like 200 or 300 quid for an actual copy, and you know what? I don't think I could justify that after trading in so much to get Knuckles Chaotix. I wouldn't be able to trade in for this because I don't think Blackthorn came out in the UK, which is a shame because that game is amazing. At the moment, I'd even dare say it's probably my favourite game on the system, and it's a freaking repro cart. But yeah, I think it's great. It's better than, say, something like Doom. Now, Doom, whilst being I think this is one of the first console ports you could get, along with the 3DO, and I think the Jaguar, maybe the SNES, on console. And I've played this. It's not great. It's not. It's not the best way to play Doom. If you're gonna go and play Doom nowadays, just play it on something like the Switch or anything but the 32X. That being said, for at the time of so I've played the 3DO version, and it went pretty quickly because it's just that bad. To be fair, the thing was developed in like 2 weeks by some poor lady. She had no chance. She had no chance. The Jaguar version was okay, but again, it was not good enough. The SNES version, again, not good enough. This was probably the best version we got until, say, the PlayStation 1 version, which I think I got rid of because I'm not a huge Doom fan. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to play Doom on hardware of that era, play the PS1 version. It's basically the same game. It's fine. If you're going to play it nowadays, play it on Switch or PlayStation 4, not Xbox, or PlayStation 5, sorry. Not Xbox Series X, I can fuck off. However, it's not the worst. It's not the worst game on this system. And you know what? I'm just going to get both of what I think are the worst. You know, all three. I'm going to get all three of what I think are the flat-out worst games on this system out of the way. Number one, Tough Man Contest. I hate Punch-Out. I do. And this is like Punch-Out, but worse. Punch-Out, for me, is not a franchise I've ever gotten into. I'm very bad at rhythm-based stuff anyway. I really hate Tough Man Contest. It is a horrible, miserable, shitty game by EA that's just not fun. It's ugly. It's just, yeah. I'd rather play Balls 3D. It's that bad. I'd rather play the absolute travesty that is Balls 3D over something like Tough Man Contest. Horrible, horrible game. Similarly, and this is going to get me lambasted by quite a lot of people, I hate virtual racing. I hate virtual racing. It's the controls. They are terrible. And I've played the Switch version, I've played this version, I've played the Mega Drive version, which I have subsequently got rid of. I'm keeping this version just because, why not? But, yeah. Like, I've played the Saturn version, which I've also gotten rid of. Not good. Not a fun game, just irritating. Like, probably not Sega's worst racing game. I personally think that would be Outrun 2. Because that's not a racing game. It's more like an arcade racer in the worst way it could have been. Archaic game design. By contrast, Virtua Racer is a fucking shit game. It is fucking shit. Of all the racing games I've played from Sega, including Sega Rally, and especially including Daytona, if you're going to play anything by Sega that's a racing game, play them or play Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. That's it. That's it. Or Sonic R if you're feeling particularly like you want to crucify yourself with really out-of-place music that I still love to pieces. Horrible, horrible, horrible game. Absolutely hate it. And I'm not one to kind of bash things too badly if I don't feel they're for me, but it's a fucking racing game. It shouldn't be that crap. It shouldn't be that difficult to control. Another example, like Motocross Championship. This was cheap. And it's with a very good reason. It's laggy. It's slow. It's buggy as fuck. It's frame rate, and I'm not a frame rate snob. If something runs in 30, I don't care. If something runs in 60, I don't care. 10 fucking frames? Like, really? 10 frames a second? No. Absolutely not. Just, no. Awful. Unplayable in a lot of ways. Whilst Tough Man Contest and Virtua Racer are just flat out bad, Motocross is unplayable. Which is a shame because I wanted to play it. I wanted to like it. I was like, ooh, I like Excite Bike. I've got Excite Bike 64 that I haven't played yet. We all have games on our backlog that we haven't played. Yeah. Thing is, there are good well, you know what? There aren't good racing games on the 32X. There aren't. Which sucks. I'd hope there would be, but unfortunately no. There are okay fighting games. So, for example, Cosmic Carnage. A lot of people hate this game. Kind of with good reason. It's not good. It's not good. But I don't think it's as bad as everybody likes to paint it as. It's perfectly mediocre. And that's just kind of it. Like, I've played it since last week. Which, by the way, I'll remind you of the giveaway for, where is it? There it is. For Demon Throttle in a bit, but for now, 32X. Cosmic Carnage, yeah, not worth 40 quid. 20, maybe 15. 15, I'd say it'd be too cheap. I know, sounds weird. But yeah, not worth £40. Still keeping it. I'm keeping pretty much all of my 32X games, unlike, say, certain others I can get rid of. It's not a system I'm going to put an awful lot of money into. I've got pretty much everything I want anyway. There's like 2 off the top of my head. I wouldn't mind owning Tempo, and I wouldn't mind owning an actual copy of Calibri. But beyond that, I'm not bothered. That being said, if you want a really good game, if you want a really good fighting game, Virtua Fighter. Not the best way to play Virtua Fighter, to be honest. But if you're going to collect for 32X, you might as well get a not terrible running version of Virtua Fighter. Weirdly enough, came out after the Saturn. Came out after the Saturn version. I don't know why. It runs okay. It controls okay. But I'm terrible at Virtua Fighter. Which is weird, because it's probably the only fighting series outside of Smash that I've ever really gotten into. But I can't sit here and say it's worth playing. Not this version, anyway. I will be doing a Virtua Fighter video maybe next week, maybe the week after, we'll see. Because I've been playing a lot of that on the Polymega, but I'm still yet to play, was it 4? Yeah, I'm still yet to play 4 on the PS2 and 5 on the 360, just simply because I haven't had time. But pretty much all the Virtua Fighter games up until 2 and Kids, you can play on the Polymega now, which is great. Like, all of them run on it. And I've played a lot of them. I'll be showing off something cool as well. If I haven't done the Virtua Fighter video, I might have done the Virtua Fighter video already. No, I haven't. But I did show off something cool in that. But yeah, we'll see. Not the best way to play Virtua Fighter, the 32X. It just isn't. To be fair, it's not the best way to play most games. But it's okay. It's an okay system. It's a nice novelty to own. And unlike, say, something like the Virtual Boy, which I'm thinking of getting rid of, I'm actually going to play these games. I'm probably not going to play anything on the Virtual Boy ever. Because whilst it's fine, it's also kind of shit. Because that gives you eye strain. Luckily, the 32X doesn't. Especially when you want to play something as pretty cool as Star Wars Arcade. Now, I really liked the Atari Star Wars Arcade game. I've played that. I can't remember what I played it on. Might have been when I had a modded GameCube. Yes, it was. It was when I had a modded GameCube and I got that demo version of Rebel Squadron 3. That was it. But this version, this one I think was made exclusively or published by Sega, produced by Lucas. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's very, very, very solid. And this, unlike most 32X games, is in the realm of affordable. I think it was like 15 quid. Really cheap. In comparison to, say, something like, I don't know, Stellar Assault. Speaking of Stellar Assault. Yeah, I like Stellar Assault. I'm really bad at it. I'm very bad at it. I'm bad at most of these games. And I'll freely admit that. I'm not bad at Blackthorn. You know, I'm not bad at the next game I'm going to talk about. But Stellar Assault was bought for me, God, 2 years ago by my mother. Thank you for that. Very nice. Big fan of it. Only really got around to playing it properly when I got the Polymega, and it's great. I'm just terrible at it. Absolutely terrible. Might look into getting a new case, because unfortunately that's cracked, and you can kind of see the internals. And it's full of dust, apparently. That was a bad idea. Yeah. Not a bad game. Kind of a on-rails sort of thing. You don't have to be, though. You don't have to be on rails, which is pretty sick. Kind of like Metalhead. Aren't I good at segues? Aren't I good at segues? Yeah, anyway. Metalhead. Kind of a first-person shooter, but more like a first-person mech game. If you've played the Iron Soldier games on the Jaguar or Iron Soldier 3 on the PlayStation, yeah, it's kind of like that, except it's very, very Sega, if that makes any sense. It's very Sega. It's very kind of voxely graphics. It's good. It's good. Which is not something I normally say with the 32X. I mean, is it my top 5? Probably. I mean, I'd probably plop Calibri, Stellar Assault, Metalhead, Blackthorn, and probably the final game on this particular list, if you remember last week, on there. So yeah, certainly these 3, Metalhead, Stellar Assault, Calibri, Blackthorn, and finally, Knuckles Chaotix. Knuckles Chaotix is probably my favourite game on this system. Again, I'm terrible at it. Ooh, dropping games, helpful. Yeah, I'm terrible at it. Awful. I'm not good at classic Sonic. I'm just not. I never have been, I never will be, and you know what? I'm fine with that. I don't care. That being said, this one's a very weird game. So this started out as, goodness, what was it called? It wasn't Sega Sonic the Hedgehog, that was something else. Sonic Loop? or something like that. It was a Sonic game, which is strange. You played as Sonic and you held a ring which was connected through some means to another ring that was held by Tails. And that mechanic is still here, except it's not Sonic. They went, let's give Knuckles a game. Why? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Knuckles. In the film, he's great. In a lot of the expanded media, he's great. In the games, he's great. It's just, really? Like, don't get me wrong, Knuckles has had a spin-off game. Tails had 2 on the Game Gear, and they were both fucking terrible. Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol, if I remember correctly. I don't think Amy's ever had a spin-off game. Eggman's... No, Eggman has. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine. I haven't played that, actually. I need to. But... or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I can't remember which one it is. But, yeah. Odd choice. Considering the 32X was one of Sega's flagship add-ons. I personally don't think console add-ons are ever a good idea. I don't think they are particularly beneficial because you disincentivize development by having a much smaller install base. I mean, if people own the console, why would they then spend another £100 on something to sell a tape to its console? And quite frankly, the Sega Tower of Power was a terrible idea. We got some good stuff out of it, like Sonic CD, Knuckles Chaotix itself, but I don't think it was really a good idea to then take what should have been a flagship Sonic game and turn it into a Knuckles one. Despite how much I like Knuckles, which is a lot. I enjoy Pumpkin Hill as much as the next person from Sonic Adventure 2, but at the same time, it's an odd choice, and it's just one of a multitude of odd choices that Sega were making around that time. It's odd. But yeah, it's a shame. The 32X did not sell well. It didn't sell well. As a result, all of its games are fucking expensive, and I'm impressed that I've got even 11 official ones and four not official, and Repro is fine. Repro is fine. If you want the bloody games and you don't want to spend hundreds of pounds buying them, play Repro. Honestly. In some cases, I don't want to. In some cases, I want the official game. And that's okay. That's okay too, especially for Polymega. Although it does play all those Repro games, just to let you know. Yeah. You know, I mean, yeah. I don't know if this thing would have been more popular if, say, Nintendo wasn't in the running or Sony hadn't been around smacking Sega about with a wet fish by having a console that wasn't a pain in the ass to develop for, and then another system and another add-on and a lot of different crap on the market that both cost money to develop and to produce and, quite frankly, wasn't very good. That's ultimately what killed Sega. It was all the weird crap they were doing after the Mega Drive. As good as the Dreamcast is, I'm sure, and as much as I love the Saturn, even judging by that sheer volume of games, you know, it didn't sell well for a reason. But yeah, 32X, do I think it's worth collecting for? Yeah, if you're into some of the weirder stuff. If you're not, you'd probably be best avoiding it, because it's very expensive. What wasn't expensive, however, was this copy of Demon Throttle. So, yeah. If you remember last week, if you watched last week's video, much appreciated. But we are doing a giveaway of Demon Throttle for the Switch. And the way this works is you like, subscribe, share this video or the other one on social media, the Game Pickups video from last week, or this particular video from this week. And then let me know in the comments, and then probably next week, I will let you know who the winner is. So, let me know in the comments that you've liked and shared, and most importantly, what your favourite game in your collection is. So, as we all know, Brutal Legend. We all like Brutal Legend. If you don't, then why are you here? You've heard me rant about this game enough, but I thought it would be nice to just kind of do a bit of a giveaway for a game that was never digital, only physical, and yeah, This is a UK-only contest, however. This is a UK-only giveaway, because, quite frankly, I don't want to spend international postage, to be frank. So if you're in the UK, do as said. If you want to like and subscribe anyway, that would be much appreciated by anybody across the world. And who knows, I will probably do another giveaway, let's say in 6 months, but that one will be international. I don't know what the game will be, but I will give something away on an international basis. I think just a smaller one to begin with. Anyways, guys, that is me signing off for another week, and I will see you next week with, of course, the giveaway results. Until next time.